The door crashes open. Eliza May Thornton stumbles into the darkness of room 7 at the Silver Spur Hotel, her white lace wedding dress catching on the splintered doorframe. Her heart hammers against her ribcage like a wild Mustang trying to break free. Outside, the dusty streets of Redemption Creek, Texas, lie silent under a blood-red sunset, 1882, where a woman's fate is sealed with a signature and a ring she never asked for. "Timothy?" Her voice trembles in the shadows. Are you here?" Before we go any further, folks, I want to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your location in the comments. And if you're ready for the wildest, most heart-pounding tales from the Old West, hit that subscribe button for Wild West Outlaw Chronicles. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The figure on the bed moves, a match strikes, and amber light floods the room, revealing a man, but not the soft-handed rancher's son she married 3 hours ago. This man is all hard edges and danger. Scars trace his jawline like a map of violence. His hands rest on a Colt .45, and his eyes, Lord, those eyes, hold the kind of loneliness that could swallow the whole prairie whole. "Wrong room, little lady," he drawls, voice like whiskey and gravel. Eliza's breath catches. She should run. She should scream. But something in his gaze pins her in place, not threat, but recognition. Like he sees the terror she's been drowning in all day. "I'm sorry," I thought. The words spill out before she can stop them. It hurts. It's my first time tonight, and I'm so scared I can't breathe, and I don't even know the man I'm supposed to. She clamps her hand over her mouth, mortified. What is she doing? Confessing her deepest fears to a stranger. Jack Lonesome McCrae rises slowly, setting his pistol aside. For 6 years he's been hunting the worst men the West has to offer, sleeping under stars, speaking to no one. He's forgotten what it feels like to want to comfort someone. But this girl, woman, with her wild eyes and trembling honesty, she's cracked something open in his chest. "Ma'am, I think you've got the wrong." The window explodes inward. Glass shards rain down as gunfire erupts from the street below. A bullet punches through the wall 6 inches from Eliza's head. She screams and Jack moves on instinct. He tackles her to the floor, his body covering hers as the room disintegrates into chaos. "Stay down!" he roars. More shots, splintering wood. Men shouting below, "McCrae! We know you're up there, you son of a bitch! You killed our brother, and now we're gonna paint these walls with your blood." The Dalton gang. Jack's been tracking them for 3 months, and now they've found him first. Eliza's pinned beneath him, feeling the heat of his body, the thunder of his heartbeat against her back. In the span of 30 seconds, her world has completely shattered. This isn't her wedding night. This isn't her husband. This is a wanted man. And she's trapped in a gunfight that could kill them both. "Who are you?" she gasps. Jack meets her eyes and something passes between them. Electricity, recognition, fate. "Name's Jack McCrae, and I'm sorry, sweetheart, but your wedding night just got a hell of a lot more complicated." He drags her behind the bed as another volley of bullets tears through the door. "Because those men down there, they won't stop until I'm dead. And now that you're in this room," his jaw tightens, "you're part of this fight, whether you want to be or not." Eliza should be terrified. She should be begging for her real husband, for safety, for the simple life she was promised. Instead, as Jack hands her his backup pistol and their fingers touch, she feels something she's never felt in her entire controlled, orchestrated existence. She feels alive. The siege lasts through the night. Jack shoves the heavy dresser against the door while Eliza crouches by the window, her wedding dress now torn and dusty. Below, she can see shadows moving, 5, maybe 6 men circling the hotel like wolves around wounded prey. The other guests have fled, leaving them utterly alone. "How many bullets do we have?" Her voice is steadier now, surprising them both. Jack glances at her, reassessing, not a helpless bride anymore. "Enough, if we're smart. And if we're not smart, then your husband's going to be a widower by sunrise." The word husband hangs between them like a noose. Eliza laughs, a wild, slightly unhinged sound. "Timothy, God, I haven't thought about him in hours. What kind of bride forgets her groom? The kind who didn't want to marry him in the first place." Jack's voice is quiet, certain. Eliza's breath hitches. How did he know? A bullet shatters the oil lamp, plunging them into darkness lit only by moonlight. They're closer now, pressed together behind the overturned bed frame. She can smell gunpowder and leather and something uniquely him, sage, an open sky. "Tell me something," Jack murmurs, reloading his pistol by touch. "Why'd you marry a man you're terrified of?" "I'm not terrified of Timothy. I'm terrified of—" She struggles for words. "Of disappearing. My father's ranch was failing. Timothy's family offered to save it if I'd marry their son. I'm the price of survival." Jack's jaw clenches in the darkness. "And tonight? Your wedding night?" "Tonight I stop being Eliza and become property. A broodmare for the Caldwell dynasty." Her voice breaks. "It hurts, knowing that. Knowing my first time will be duty, not desire." The confession settles between them, intimate and raw. Jack is silent for a long moment. Then, "That ain't right. A woman's first time should be—" He stops, and she feels him struggling with the words. "Should be her choice. Should be with someone who sees her as a partner, not property." "You speak like you know about choices." Eliza turns to him in the darkness, their faces inches apart. "What happened to you, Jack McCrae? What made you so lonely?" His hand trembles, just for a second, on his pistol. "I had a wife once, Sarah, and a daughter, Emily. Fever took them both while I was off hunting bounties, trying to make enough money to buy them a proper house." His voice is gravel and grief. "I came home to 2 graves and an empty cabin. Been running ever since. Figured if I never stopped moving, never let anyone close, I couldn't lose anybody else." Eliza reaches out in the darkness, finds his hand. His skin is calloused, scarred, warm. "You're not the only one who's lonely." The touch ignites something, a spark in the powder keg of their shared isolation. Jack turns to her, and suddenly the danger outside matters less than the danger between them. This pull, this impossible connection. "Eliza!" Her name on his lips sounds like a prayer. "We survived this night. You go back to your husband. Forget about me. Live your safe life." "What if I don't want safe?" Her eyes flash defiance. "What if I want to choose? Just once. What if I want?" The door splinters. Someone's ramming it from outside. Jack pulls her close, his lips at her ear. "When I move, you run for the back window. There's a roof below. Get to the stable, take my horse, Black Stallion, named Judas, and ride like hell. What about you? I'll hold them off long enough for you to escape." "No." Eliza grips his shirt. "We survive together or not at all." Their eyes lock. In that moment, they both know. This isn't just about survival anymore. Something has fundamentally shifted between the virgin bride and the lonely cowboy. Something dangerous and inevitable. Jack smiles, The first real smile in years. You sure? It's gonna get bloody. Eliza reaches for the pistol he gave her earlier. Then let's give them hell, cowboy. The door crashes open, and the real fight begins. Chaos erupts. Cole Dalton storms through the splintered door, twin revolvers blazing. Jack fires twice, and one bullet catches Cole in the shoulder, spinning him back. But three more gang members pour in behind him, and suddenly the room is a tornado of gunfire and smoke and violence. Eliza doesn't freeze. She fires at a man climbing through the window, her shot wild but effective enough to send him tumbling back with a yell. Jack's fighting two men at once, his movements brutal and efficient. This is what 6 years of hunting killers has made him, beautiful and terrible. A bullet grazes Jack's side. Blood blooms across his shirt. Jack! Eliza's scream cuts through the gunfire. He stumbles but doesn't fall. I'm fine, keep shooting! But he's not fine. She can see him weakening, can see the odds shifting against them. 4 against 2, with more men shouting from the street below. They're going to die in this room, and Eliza will never know what it's like to truly choose her own path. Then the door at the bottom of the stairs crashes open, and a familiar voice rings out. Eliza! Eliza May! You come down here right now! Timothy Caldwell, her husband, standing in the hotel lobby with the sheriff and half the town, having finally tracked down his wayward bride. The lady's a bit busy, Jack shouts back, ducking behind the bed as another bullet whizzes past. Blood seeps between his fingers where he clutches his wounded side. Cole Dalton laughs, circling them like a predator. Looks like your wedding night went to hell, sweetheart. Tell you what, you come with us, and we'll let the lady go back to her fancy husband. We only want you dead, McCrae. Eliza looks at Jack. His face is pale, his breathing labored. He's going to die protecting her, this man she met hours ago, but feels like she's known forever. Take the deal, Jack tells her quietly. Go back to your life. Below, Timothy shouts again, Eliza! You're my wife! My property! Get down here! Property. The word detonates something in Eliza's chest. She spent 19 years being told what to do, who to be and who to marry. Spent her whole wedding day preparing to surrender herself to a man who sees her as a possession, and now, bleeding and terrified in this destroyed hotel room, she finally understands what Jack tried to tell her. A woman's first time should be her choice. Her first choice should be her choice. No, Eliza says. Cole laughs. What? No. Louder now. She stands, raising her pistol, positioning herself beside Jack. I'm not going back. I'm not a property. I'm not a transaction to save my father's ranch. I'm not his. Jack stares at her, stunned. Eliza, you'll be ruined. I'm already ruined. She smiles at him, fierce and free. I'm ruined for any life that isn't mine to choose. So here's my choice, Jack McCrae. We fight together, we live together, or we die together. But I'm done being afraid of my own life. Something blazes in Jack's eyes. Recognition, respect, and something deeper. Something that feels like the beginning of love. Together then, he breathes. They move as one. Jack takes down 2 gang members with shots so precise they seem impossible. Eliza fires at Cole, her bullet catching him in the leg. He drops with a howl of rage. The remaining outlaws flee, dragging their wounded leader down the stairs. In the sudden silence, Eliza and Jack stand amid the wreckage, bloodied, victorious, transformed. Below, Timothy's voice rises in fury. You're a disgrace. This marriage is over. You hear me? Over. Eliza walks to the shattered window and looks down at her soon-to-be former husband. Good, she calls back, because I'm choosing a different path now. One that's mine. She turns back to Jack, who's leaning against the wall, bleeding but alive, looking at her like she's the sunrise after the longest night of his life. So, Cowboy, Eliza says, her heart pounding, you still know how to be gentle? Jack's smile is everything. For you, I'll remember how. If you've made it this far, you absolute legend. Don't forget to subscribe to Wild West Outlaw Chronicles for more untamed tales from the frontier. Dawn breaks over Redemption Creek like a promise. Jack leans against the hitching post outside the bullet-riddled hotel, his side bandaged with strips torn from Eliza's wedding dress. The white lace is stained crimson now, a fitting end to the life she was supposed to live. The sheriff has taken the surviving Dalton gang members into custody, and the town is buzzing with scandal. The virgin bride, who spent her wedding night with an outlaw instead of her husband. Eliza emerges from the hotel, no longer wearing the tattered remains of her wedding gown. She's borrowed pants, a work shirt, and boots from the general store, clothes for riding, not for being someone's decorative wife. Her hair hangs loose down her back, wild and free. You ready for this? Jack asks quietly. His eyes search hers, giving her one last chance to change her mind. Once we ride out of here together, there's no going back. You'll be ruined in every respectable parlor from here to St. Louis. Eliza looks back at the town, at her father standing on the church steps, face red with shame, at Timothy Caldwell sulking outside the saloon, already eyeing other potential brides, at the life that was laid out for her like a coffin lined with silk. Ruined, she repeats, tasting the word. Then she smiles. Funny, I've never felt more whole. Jack's hand finds hers. Not possessive, not controlling, just there, a partnership. I've got a cabin, he tells her as they walk toward where Judas is saddled and waiting. 3 days' ride north. Nothing fancy, just 4 walls and a roof. But it's mine. Could be ours, if you want it. What about your bounty hunting? Jack's jaw tightens. That life nearly got you killed last night. I'm thinking it's time for a different path. He pauses, vulnerable in a way that clearly terrifies him. If you'll have me, if you want to build something together instead of me just running. Eliza stops walking. For a moment, Jack's heart plummets. She's going to refuse, going to realize she's made a terrible mistake choosing a scarred-up bounty hunter over a wealthy rancher's son. Then she kisses him. Not the desperate, adrenaline-fueled kiss of last night when they thought they might die. This is different. This is a choice made in daylight, with clear eyes and an open heart. This is her first real kiss, the first one that's truly hers. When they break apart, Jack's eyes are suspiciously bright. I'll teach you to shoot straight, he murmurs against her forehead. Teach you to track, to survive, to stand your ground. And I'll teach you to stay, Eliza whispers back. Teach you that love doesn't mean loss, that opening your heart doesn't make you weak. They mount Judas together, Eliza sitting in front of Jack, his arms around her as they ride out of town. People stare and whisper, but their voices fade as Redemption Creek disappears behind them. Jack? Eliza asks as they crest the first hill, the open prairie stretching endlessly before them. Yeah? Last night, when you promised you'd be gentle, did you mean it? His arms tighten around her, protective and tender. Every word. When the time comes, when you're ready, I'll make sure your first time is everything you deserve. No rush, no pressure. Just us, when you choose it. Eliza leans back against his chest, feeling safer than she's ever felt in any gilded cage. I'm going to hold you to that, Cowboy. I'm counting on it. They ride toward the horizon, toward Jack's cabin, toward a future neither of them planned, but both of them chose. The virgin bride and the lonely cowboy, no longer defined by their fears, but by their courage to choose each other. But as they disappear into the wilderness, a figure watches from the ridge above Redemption Creek. Cole Dalton escaped from custody, bleeding and furious. And he's not finished with Jack McCrae, not by a long shot. The cabin sits in a valley so beautiful, it hurts to look at. Eliza May McCrae, who took his name in a quiet ceremony performed by a traveling preacher, stands on the porch, watching the sunset paint the mountains purple and gold. 6 months have passed since that wild night in Redemption Creek, and she barely recognizes the trembling bride she used to be. Her hands are calloused now from ranch work. Her aim is deadly. Jack made sure of that. She can track deer, break horses, and survive a week in the wilderness with nothing but a knife and her wits. She's stronger, fiercer, more herself than she ever imagined possible. But it's not just survival skills she's learned. Jack taught her that intimacy is a conversation, not a conquest, that her pleasure matters as much as his, that no and not yet are complete sentences, and yes is a gift freely given, not a duty extracted. When they finally came together, 3 weeks after arriving at the cabin, when she was ready and certain, it was everything he promised, gentle, patient, hers. The loneliness that haunted Jack for 6 years has lifted like morning fog. He laughs now, stays in one place, plants crops and tends animals, and builds furniture for their home. He's learning that peace isn't the same as weakness, and that loving someone doesn't mean losing himself. "Hey, beautiful." Jack's voice pulls her from her thoughts. He wraps his arms around her from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. "What you thinking about?" "About how different everything is. How I almost became someone else's property instead of my own person." "Any regrets?" Eliza turns in his arms, looking up at the man who saved her, not from the Dalton gang, but from a life half-lived. "Not a single one." They kiss as the stars begin to emerge, and it still feels like the first time, like choosing each other again and again. "Jack McCrae!" A voice calls from the trail. They both tense, hands moving instinctively toward their weapons. But it's not Cole Dalton, it's the sheriff from Redemption Creek, riding up with his hands raised in peace. "Easy now," he calls. "I come with news. Cole Dalton's been caught. He's headed to trial in Santa Fe. You're free, McCrae. No more looking over your shoulder." The relief that floods through them is almost overwhelming. Jack pulls Eliza close, and she feels his whole body relax for the first time since they arrived. "Thank you, Sheriff," Jack manages. After the sheriff leaves, they stand together in the twilight, processing what this means. True freedom, true peace, a future without shadows. "We did it," Eliza whispers. "We chose each other, and we survived." Jack kisses her forehead. "More than survived, darling. We lived." Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself, even when the whole world has already chosen for you. Real love isn't about ownership. It's about partnership. And your first time, whether it's intimacy, freedom, or choosing your own path, should always, always be yours to decide. If this story moved you, if it made you believe in second chances and chosen paths, then do me a favor Subscribe to Wild West Outlaw Chronicles right now. Hit that button because we've got more tales of courage, romance, and rebellion coming your way. Stories about people who refused to be broken by the Wild West and instead made it their own. Drop a comment telling me, would you have chosen safety or freedom? Timothy's wealth or Jack's danger? I want to know. And remember, folks, in the Wild West and in life, the greatest adventure is choosing to live on your own terms. Until next time, this is Wild West Outlaw Chronicles. Ride free.